Hey, what is up, guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG, and in today's video, guys, what I got for you, we're going to be taking a look at a Gholdengo EX deck. Now, this is a straightforward Gholdengo. We are not doing the Scizor version in this deck. However, if you want to actually run the Scizor version, you can definitely do that. This is the list that my roommate's actually been playing around with, and he sent this to me, so I figured I'd try it out. And I actually really like the deck, so I figured I would cover it. So we're going to start off by taking a look at Gholdengo EX. So it has the ability Coin Bonus. Once during your turn, you may draw a card. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, you draw one more card. So that's pretty good. And then Make It Rain is going to do 50 damage times the amount of basic energy cards you discard from your hand. So obviously the general strategy behind this deck is going to be just pitch a bunch of energy, go for those one shots, go for those big knockouts, and then we're going to get our energy back with cards like Superior Energy Retrieval and things like that. So Coin Bonus is a fantastic ability if you have Gholdengo in the active spot and then you have a Gholdengo on the bench. That's going to be 3 additional cards, or you can of course switch into another Gholdengo and then just Coin Bonus again for 2 additional cards if you want to. We do run a copy of Switch in here in case that situation ever comes up. But the 3 additional cards is going to be very nice because we do run Superior Energy Retrieval, Earthen Vessel. So that is just going to basically be easier to discard stuff because we'll have a full hand size. But Barrel with Industrious Incisors is also going to be very helpful with that. But yeah, Earthen Vessel is going to allow you to pitch a card, search your deck for 2 energy, and then add them to your hand. So that's very nice. I mean, it thins your deck out and gets you 2 energy. Also, maybe you can pitch a dead card. That's where Battle VIP Pass is going to come into play. Because early on, basically, you start with Battle VIP Pass. Cool, you can set up your board. After that, they become really dead cards. So that means they're just going to be targets for your Earthen Vessel, Ultra Ball, and then, of course, Superior Energy Retrieval, which allows you to discard 2 cards and then grab up to 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile and put them in your hand. Very clutch card. So all in all, like I said, this is a very straightforward option with the Gholdengo deck. You're just basically trying to just throw a bunch of energy down, get those huge knockouts. And you can see kind of with the count of items in this deck, we got 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Earthen Vessel, 4 Superior Energy Retrieval, 4 Battle VIP Pass, we got 3 Nest Ball, and then we have a couple single copies of. So that is where Pokestop is going to come into play here. Because we run these high amount of item cards, Pokestop is going to be a fantastic card for us to just kind of get some extra cards in our hand. The 1 copy of Energy Retrieval that's in this deck, that's just to get a couple energy back. My friend said that this was a really, really good card excuse me, for this deck just because he doesn't have to discard anything. And, it's just like you never know, you might need a couple extra energy type things. Arven is going to be fantastic in here because it's going to basically kind of throwing it back to Skyla, allowing you to just grab something out of your deck, which is really nice. And then the other supporters, of course, are going to be Boss's Orders and Iono. But, I mean, all in all, this deck is really, really straightforward. It's very cool. A lot of drawing, which is nice. I like that about this deck. You got Gholdengo, then you got Radiant Greninja, pitch energy and draw 2. You got Barrel. The cool thing about Barrel is you're going to be drawing and filling your hand size back up, so that way you got targets to discard for Superior Energy Retrieval. It's just all in all a fun little deck. But yeah, you guys are going to see me have a massive fail, and I will explain that in the gameplay when we get to it. But thank you all so much for watching the video. Hope you did enjoy it, and we're going to get into the gameplay now. Alright, so as you guys can see, we are in the gameplay now. We got a very strong start. Battle VIP Pass. We got ourselves a Gimmighoul. We got 3 Gimmighoul down. We got ourselves Radiant Greninja. We got Bidoof. It's looking pretty good. Our opponent starts with Squawkabilly, so we're not quite sure what we're facing off against just. But I mentioned that we had a huge fail in this video, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about that right now while I can. So this took place during Thursday Night Football. It was the Ravens-Bengals, and the quarterback, Joe Burrow, for the Bengals, kind of went down on the ground, sort of. And was like hurt, and I was like looking over at that and trying to play at the same time, and I accidentally attached 2 energy to my Gholdengo. So when you see me attach 2 energy, just know that's what happened. But yeah, so that's why, because I was over there paying attention to that, and I just was like trying to figure out what happened. But come to find out, he's out for like the rest of the season, I think, or almost the rest of the season, which sucks. But anyway, as you guys can see, we are facing off against Roaring Moon, which, believe it or not, is actually not a bad matchup if we can strike first and get prizes first. Because Roaring Moon can't necessarily one-shot us unless it does its effect of its first attack, which will damage it, which just basically means that the energy output that we have to get is very minimal because they will basically do most of the damage themselves. So this was just all in all a pretty solid matchup for me. And I think it's on my second turn or something like that. It's really early in the gameplay that I attached 2 energy. But yeah, I went and got my microphone from my place and brought it over to my parents, so that way I can actually maybe attempt to do some videos whenever I'm sitting up. I am still recovering from my heart surgery. I hurt like a mother fricker. So we're just gonna hopefully get through this commentary and I don't fall over and cry. But Roaring Moon is a terrifying deck because, man, when it gets going, it gets going. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This deck is absolutely wild with what it can do. As my opponent has the Pokestop, so mine are kind of dead, which, I mean, necessarily isn't a bad thing because I can discard them with some of my items, you know. But obviously their deck is going to be geared towards Pokestop as well. Those Pokestop-oriented decks like Chien Pao, a Roaring Moon, and then this version of Gholdengo. So my opponent has a bunch of energy on the field, and it's looking like they're getting a pretty solid start on me. I faced some Roaring Moon decks that have gone just insanely off, and it's just wild. As my opponent uses Swakabilly's attack to charge up that Roaring Moon there on the back. I would have, well, never mind. He didn't. I would have attached the pretty one, but, you know, hey, he didn't have a energy on that one. So I do evolve into the Gholdengo, and there, so right there, I was looking at the TV, and I noticed right away that I attached a second energy. So my bad. I was watching football. Joe Burrow went down, and I was like, what the hell just happened? Okay. So I do Arven for the superior energy retrieval here. And I'm just like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get the barrel down. I just went ahead and pitched the Iona because, like, my opponent is going to have a giant-ass hand size anyway. I went ahead and already got the superior energy retrieval, so I don't really feel like shuffling that away. So we're going to Industrious Incisors for 5, up to 5, excuse me. And right here, I mean, I have some stuff kind of going, but then I don't. But I really enjoy how straightforward this deck is. I mean, it is fantastic, as I have probably one of the worst Pokestops I've ever seen in my life. I pitched 2 Gholdengo and a Bidoof. So yeah. And the cool thing is like whenever you use Radiant Greninja's ability, you can just superior energy retrieval the energy used back, which is nice. Thankfully, I had that Super Rod there, so I can shuffle in and kind of undo that terrible Pokestop that I just did. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and pitch the Nest Ball. I probably should have pitched the Pokestop, to be honest with you. I was kind of worried that they would play down another stadium, so I kind of hung on to that Pokestop. And right here, I got the perfect amount of damage, just 4 energy, 200. I strike first. So as long as I can kind of maintain my energy acceleration, maintain my board state, maintain what I'm able to do with the deck, I'm kind of forcing them to either try to two-shot me or use their ability to basically just damage themselves. And that's really their only option unless they want to fall back, if that makes sense. As we see, my opponent opens with a Dark Patch targeting that Roaring Moon on the back, just kind of getting that set up. And my opponent has 3 Roaring Moons, so, you know, there is his 6 prizes right there if he's able to keep his energy acceleration on the field. As my awesome Gholdengo that looks like the cinnamon guy from the Apple Jacks commercial just stands there looking like an absolute baller. And my opponent gets an Ultra Ball and 2 Battle VIP Pass. So, I mean, really, if you're needing a Pokemon, that's what you want to see when you Pokestop. So my opponent is going to grab that little Minion. And really, I don't remember too much from this game, just because of the fact that I was distracted from what was taking place. I was so focused on that football game, dude. Because I was like, man, what? I think like that was a very injury-prone game. I think like the tight end of the Ravens went down like really early in the game, and then Joe Burrow got hurt. It was just a wild one. And there is the town store. I have seen some Roaring Moon decks play Path of the Peak, and so I was kind of worried about that because, you know, coin bonus is just really clutch. For all I know, I probably missed doing it the last turn. I don't know. I am on a pain medication and muscle relaxer. So guys, this is winging it if winging it was winging it. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. So we're going to have some high commentaries here. Ironically, my opponent's name is Painkiller. That's just funny. All right. So they do the frenzied gouging or whatever it's called. So that'll knock me out. That sucks. But they put 200 damage on themselves, even with the booster energy or booster capsule pill bottle thing. I just need to discard 2 energy, so that's really clutch. And so I have 2 Earthen Vessel. I have my barrel. Unfortunately, I do not run any, or unfortunately, this deck does not run any tools. So right here, I'm just going to pitch this Earthen Vessel. I mean, I'm going to get some energies going here. Really, these 2 energies are going to be used for attaching and then possibly Radiant Greninja. So I think what I do here is I just Industrious Incisors for up to 3 more cards. And it's looking pretty grim, but at the same time, not too bad. So right here, I can just go ahead and pitch that Metal Energy along with Manaphy. I get 4 additionals, and then I can pitch for 2 more cards. So yeah, you guys are kind of getting the gist of it. I opt to Ultra Ball there. Almost grabbed Gimmighoul. That'd have been very bad. So there we go. And that's the cool thing is, like, you use all your resources, you dump your hand, and then the barrel will just fill your hand back up. So that's really nice. And then I have another really bad Pokestop. And I think here I was deciding, do I want a Radiant Greninja or do I want to hang on to this energy to have like a guaranteed energy attachment for next turn? And if I remember correctly, I just go ahead and just coin bonus, see what I get. You never know. I do draw into a Gholdengo and a boss, so that's pretty freaking good if I would say so myself. My opponent has 11 cards in their hand. That is a little intimidating. So right here, I make it rain. I completely forget about the extra coin bonus there. I forget that I can do it on my bench too. This football game had me all kinds of distracted, but we're fine. We're still in a really good spot. So there we go. I go down to 2 prize cards. I pull Jirachi Arven. The Arven right there is really, really clutch. As long as they don't mess up my hand size, that pretty much guarantees my win. Or mess with my hand at all. If they decide to do the first attack, they'll damage themselves. And then from there, I just promote that Gholdengo on the bench, attach energy, Arven for the Spirit Energy Retrieval, and GG, I win. So there we go. And I actually think this gameplay is winding down here in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and wish you all the very best. Hope you all are doing fantastic. And I don't remember when my next video comes out. So just in case, I want to go ahead and say I hope you all have a fantastic Thanksgiving if you do celebrate Thanksgiving. If you do not, I hope you just have a fantastic day in general, man. As my opponent gets ready to absolutely mollywop me here. Taking out another Gholdengo with that ancient dinosaur Salamence Roaring Moon. Yeah, the Roaring Moon deck is a very interesting one. So there we go. And from here, man, I play a few cards. My opponent concedes. So thank y'all so much for watching the video. You guys take care. Hope y'all have a fantastic day, man. And just appreciate all the support. Appreciate you guys tuning into the videos, being patient with me in my recovery process. I know things have been weird right now on the channel. But just know I'm excited to get back to it. I don't know why I'm coin bonusing here, but I draw into Spirit Energy Retrieval anyway. So take care, guys. Love you. This is Epic Pokemon TCG, signing out. That's right, boy. That's right, boy. Yes, sir.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.